Hello everybody, my name is Nicholas and this is Cardwire. It's been a while since I made a video, but it's because I've been moving and I've been dealing with a lot of life stuff, but I'm here now and I want to get right into this news. Today we're going to be talking about the coaching situation with the Arizona Cardinals. Bruce Arians, as we all know, retired. And once he retired, the Cardinals spent a very long time looking for a coach. We ended up getting a guy that I really hadn't heard anything about, Steve Wilks. As far as I knew, he was only on the Panthers. He was assistant head coach or secondary coach. He was also defensive coordinator, basically, which is what his job was. This guy doesn't have as much experience as Bruce Arians, but I think he brings the same attitude to the team, a guy that's respected by players and coaches alike. I really haven't heard anything extremely negative about Steve Wilks. I know players from the Panthers loved him, like Josh Norman was very adamant about Patrick Peterson getting him. Speaking of Pat P loves the signing. He thought it was a great head coach signing, and I honestly, after doing a little research on him, can't disagree. It looks like he played corner, I believe, for Appalachian State, and his only head coaching job has been for Savannah State, and he went 5-6 with Savannah State in the NCAA football. He only stayed with them with 1 year until he went to he kind of floated around college football, going to Illinois State, back to Appalachian State until his first NFL stint with Chicago Bears. His first NFL stint was with the Chicago Bears as their secondary coach, which, you know, I don't really know what to say about the 2008, I think it was, Chicago Bears. Don't remember them because I really wasn't a football fan back then. Then he went to the Chargers and then the Panthers, finally, where he stayed for quite a while with Coach Ron Rivera, who's a great head coach. As we all know, the Panthers are misery. Sometimes they are the worst thing to happen to the Cardinals in the playoffs every year, and if we ever play them in the playoffs, it's most likely seems to be a guaranteed loss. Why? But I guess having a Panthers head coach will make us maybe immune to that. Who knows? Steve Wilks seems like a great guy all around. I don't really have any complaints or really exciting things about him. It's his first time being a higher up, I guess, as an NFL head coach. But I think people make that a big deal. Every coach starts off as not being an NFL head coach most of the time. I feel like it's more likely for an NFL head coach to be a coordinator before they're a head coach twice, if that makes sense. Bill Belichick was a guy who was two head coach. I don't think that matters. I think either if you got a fresh blood or if you got old blood, Speaking of old blood, we got a new offensive coordinator, Mike McCoy, who was a head coach for the San Diego Chargers and then an offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos until he was fired after a 5-game losing streak. When Mike McCoy was hired, he was the youngest coach in NFL football. A lot of people seem not too happy about him. I'm kind of indifferent. I know he wasn't the best with the Chargers, 9-5 for 2 straight years, and then kind of went down the toilet. But it's kind of hard to be upset at him. He didn't have much to work with those last couple of years, and even with the Broncos, he still didn't have a lot of work with. So maybe as an offensive coordinator, maybe he's just not meant to be really a head coach, and maybe his thing with the Broncos was just a little stint and he'll be better with us. I think Wilks will really hold the reins. He seems to have known McCoy before, as well as all of his other coaches, which, Al Holcomb is our defensive coordinator. He's a really kind of unknown guy. He was a linebackers coach in Carolina. And then before that, he had a couple of stints with the New York Giants. And he also coached at Temple. Bruce Arians' Temple. So bringing the Temple in. He seems kind of interesting. Again, people are too obsessed with this. Oh, they haven't been a higher up. They haven't been a coordinator. Every coordinator starts with being someone under that. And if we're going to have a new era in Cardinals history, why not start with some new blood, you know? And Mike McCoy kind of had already been a head coach, and maybe that's good to have a head coach on a team that doesn't have anybody that had experience there. Mike McCoy's not going to be leading the helm. Obviously, Wilkes is, but maybe having that head coach presence there will help with these newer guys. And I think that was very smart by our coaching staff and our GM to hire McCoy. Maybe I'll bite my tongue on that. Maybe it'll be a terrible signing, like a lot of people say. But who knows? We got David Johnson. Does anything matter? And then we hired a special teams coordinator, Jeff Rogers, who worked with the Bears and Broncos. Is a special teams coordinator. As long as it's not Amos Jones, I'm totally fine. I hope Amos Jones drowned in a pool of acid. The Cardinals did retain some coaches. Byron Leftwich. Byron Leftwich is a quarterback's coach for the Cardinals. A lot of people seem to like him. Bruce is really vouching for him, and why not? You know, can't be that upset with him. You know, he's an NFL quarterback. He was drafted the same year Carson was. That's the funniest thing to me, that he was drafted the same year Carson was and ended up coaching him. Obviously, Carson had a better career, but that's how it works out. And I believe we also retained Larry Foote, who was a linebacker for us, kind of a special teams guy. And for the Steelers, he was retained. And then I believe we also retained our wide receiver coach, Kevin Green. I'd have to look that up. I believe we also re-signed our wide receivers coach, Kevin Gardner. We re-signed our wide receiver coach, Kevin Gardner. You know, I mean that's good for the players to have, you know, continuity in some places. You know, linebackers and wide receivers and quarterbacks are very important to our, you know, our team. And maybe having Kevin there will make Larry want to stay. Maybe he likes Larry. Larry likes him. Who knows? But having these couple of guys will help, I think, to really stay in the Cardinals regime. We also hired a defensive line coach who actually played for the Cardinals, Nick Eason, which might be interesting. You know, that's always kind of cool to see someone who played for us come play with us. He was a coach for the Tennessee Titans for a couple of years, and before that I can't really remember, but, you know, that's always interesting. We also brought in a secondary coach, Dave Merritt, who has been a coach for kind of a while. I think he's a kind of a mid-range guy, kind of like our coordinators. And he also played football. And it's always nice to have player coaches. That's always great. And we do have a lot of those. I mean, Larry Foote, Brian Leftwich. I just said his name. The defensive line coach, Dave Merritt. Wilkes played. Mike McCoy played. I'm not sure how Holcomb played. I think he played linebacker. I can't remember off the top of my head. But, yeah, I think out of all the coaching signings, we did pretty well. And I like the time Keim put in. I like he waited. I like that he waited a lot. Because I think all this deliberating and all this thinking really is going to help this team. I think Steve Wilkes brings the respect and attitude Bruce Arians brought at the beginning, but with a defensive mindedness for our amazing defense that only can be built upon and made better. We're not losing a lot of key players on defense. Defense is going to be something the Cardinals can stand on. I'm excited to see what he's going to do with our system, 3-4-4-3. He'll probably keep it at 3-4 because Chandler and Marcus, that's kind of where they play. And they're probably two of our best defensive players. And then I think that it's also going to be interesting to see what Mike McCoy can do because a lot of people seem to be doubting him. I can't hate on him that much. I don't really know enough about him to do that. I don't know if his offenses were that bad. In his first 2 years, they weren't. I mean, they went 9-5. Phillip Rivers is really good. And Al Holcomb's a new guy, new blood. It should be nice. I think that these three main guys can maybe set a foundation for the Cardinals. Maybe this is a new era. You know, this is a new time for us to really step up and to prove that we can be more than just a bottom, middle of the road team. I think we can do it. We get a quarterback in there. It's good. Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield. These are two guys that I want the Cardinals to have. I know a lot of people are kind of lower on both of them because of, you know, Baker's attitude and Lamar's, you know, not the best thrower in the world. But both of them can be built upon, and I believe both of them can be franchise quarterbacks. And it would be so amazing to see them back there with David Johnson. And I'm excited to see what we can do with the draft. We need to draft a franchise quarterback this year. Blaine Gabbert will not get us anywhere. There's not a lot of free agents that I think we can get us anywhere. Maybe Alex Smith. Alex Smith would be interesting, but if we do not draft a quarterback this year, in this amazing year for quarterbacks, we are going to be screwed for many years. And I firmly believe that. I'm excited to see what the Cardinals can do. I'm excited to see what these new coaches can do. But I hope to God we do not screw it up again, like we have before. It's going to be interesting to see how it happens. I hope Steve Wilkes has a great first year. I hope our team proves everyone wrong. I hope the defense, I hope we have like a Broncos Super Bowl season defense. That'd be amazing. It's going to be amazing, guys. Stay hopeful, stay great, and have a great day. See you next time on Cardwire.